It's 78,000 lines of solidity.
What? How?
It's
How is that even possible? I didn't even know there were 78,000 lines of solidity.
yeah, dude, and it's all like okay.
Like in the world.
This is their deployment script. It has
What? Hang on, let me turn. Oh, you have a cap on. Okay.
yeah, I always have cats
Holy
climbing on me.
Let me wait. How did I full screen this before?
So it has 88 lines of just imports to start with.
What?
This is their deployment script. 88 lines of just imports.
How is this a thing at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this real?
Yes. This is ADI's contract code that they put on GitHub.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Where's this stuff come from?
From Matter Labs. Yeah. So it's so complicated. Here, like this is their
I don't even know how to react to this.
yeah. It's yeah, so basically I was reading all of this. So like and allegedly there's a thing where and ADI does not talk about this, but other projects that use the same basic software do talk about how they have the ability essentially to, from the layer one, make a contract call. This is a censorship resistance thing against, oh, well, you have full control over the sequencer. Okay, but you can make a contract call on the layer one and force the sequencer to include the transaction in the next block, or else the network just like goes into quote emergency mode and everyone can just withdraw their funds. Okay. And this is something that I am supposed to figure out from contract mailbox facet is ZK chain based and I mailbox. So they have this like complicated inheritance tree. And of course, like you can just redefine what your types and shit are. Then there's, of course, macros. Then I was like, okay. So like request L2 transaction. So this is the function you're supposed to call saying, hey, I have this transaction and I'm worried that the sequencer is going to censor it. Please. This is a contract that lives on Ethereum, the normal Ethereum chain. Please make sure that this that this transaction is included in the next commitment that you make. Okay, so first thing it does, so only L1 means that it can only be, means that this is a macro, and it can only be called on Ethereum. So if this contract is found somewhere else, it won't work.
Wait. There's a macro inside of the decorators?
Yeah, so, oh my God. Yeah, so This is a
What?
modifier that you can make to a function.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, this isn't even like touching the surface. Okay. Then, so if S, so S is this implicit state that is defined somewhere, where is still a mystery. But if the chain ID of the child chain is not correct, then it reverts. Then it makes a TX hash and then finds the shared bridge, then does interface for the L1 asset router, calls it on shared bridge, then calls bridge hub deposit base token with value message.value with the parameters, the chain ID, the base token asset ID, the sender
The
and the
language
value.
they're using for this is all kind of bogus.
Yeah. Then we get, okay.
Because your contract call can't actually have any of these side effects. That's not how it works. These are registrations of intent.
So request L2 transaction sender. Okay. Then makes basically this data structure bridge hub L2 transaction request, which is defined somewhere. Not in this file, of course. Oh, no, it's an import, of course. Okay. Then what this does is it checks, is there a transaction filterer? If so, query the interface for our transaction filterer and then ask, is this transaction allowed? So their censorship resistance mechanism has a censorship function built in that may or may not be turned on. Yeah.
This thing's a fucking monstrosity.
Yes. No, Craig, this is going to change the world. You don't get it because you don't understand transaction filterer. Because
I know that this is some dumb shit. Like these are words that should never occur in blockchain.
Transaction filterer?
Not necessarily, but the other stuff where bridge hub L2 transaction request, like these are registrations of intent that are being placed into a chain, which is just a big log of events, and it's kind of the prayer concept where you're praying that there's a listener that's going to take action on this at some point that you can hopefully get a verifiable proof of back later, maybe. This is just one of those cases of doing something that trying to do something well that doesn't need to be done at all.
Yeah. So to get the shared, you need the asset router for the shared bridge, which you get from the bridge hub calling shared bridge. Okay.
What's bridge hub? Like bridge hub, that sounds like there's actually shitloads of bridges potentially, and they probably wrote it that way. They like overdoing shit that makes things too abstract and fucking stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Did that say pragma solidity 0.8?
0.8.28, yes.
They're doing this and they haven't hit version 1 yet. They have not made an interface promise at the language level.
Well, no. Why would you need that, dude?
What's at from at Open Zeppelin?
Oh yeah, because we also use npm.
Oh Jesus!
Yes. Yeah, so it uses npm to get math. Okay. That's a good thing to get from npm.
Dude, I fucking run far away. Everything in here is bad. Holy shit.
Okay, so common messaging.
Did you manage to build this? Or is this
What?
just in their repo? Is this all just in their
This
repo?
this is just in the repo, and I'm just fucking with it in Vim with grep and trying to like find stuff.
Oh.
I didn't want to install any of the weird Ethereum tooling because it all requires npm and puts all sorts of nasty goo on my system, and I didn't feel like setting up a VM. So
Right.
I settled for just.
Jeez.
But basically, what I was asking AI, like, okay, what's the normal way that people like deal with this crazy Ethereum shit? But basically, the tooling in Ethereum just kind of assumes that you're going to write your code like this, and it has like visualization tools where it like will figure out the inheritance hierarchy of your contracts and like what they will actually look like when they're deployed.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
So Bridge.
this exacerbates the storage problem. They will never be able to get to lifetimes.
Oh, no. This fixes the storage problem, Craig, because you store things off chain and then you commit to the value and that's it. It just doesn't get stored.
Solve right conflicts by solve right conflicts by not solving them.
Okay. Okay. So, also, have you noticed that different files require different versions of Solidity? So this one's 0828 and this one is 0821.
And that's pinned.
Yes, pinned. The other one is not pinned. So I don't know what that means.
Hmm?
Yes. So
if you include a block from another file and that file requires a different, I don't know. Bridge hub.
okay.
They have all these big sounding words in here.
Tracks. Okay.
Bridge hub.
Yeah, they have
gateway architecture.
contracts, Bridge Hub. I'm imagining Bridge Hub is like Pornhub for like autistic people who are like attracted to bridges. That's just what comes to mind. Okay.
Well, there's a Reddit community for sure.
I'm sure there is. It's
like
just
ladies that hump the Eiffel Tower.
Contract Bridge Hub is iBridge Hub, reentrancy guard, ownable two-step upgradable, pausable upgradable, asset handler modifiers. So it inherits from 5 other things, which could inherit them from an arbitrary number of things. And then we're using enumerable map for enumerable map.toUn address map. Then like finding out where anything is defined. So like we were reading like, okay, if S, where the hell were we? Okay, if S dot transaction filter. Okay, cool. I'm going to go look at the definition for S and see what transaction filter is defined as. Where is S defined, do you suppose?
I would imagine that that's inherent to Ethereum, maybe? Nope.
Just nowhere.
Huh? Is that like an implied definition from Ethereum?
I don't think so.
I would hope that that's it.
I don't believe so. What is it? Solidity variables always in scope. No, solidity variables are not always in scope. No, I want to know. Let me ask Grok. In solidity. Okay. Ask. Can you give me a list of identifiers that are always in scope? No matter where I am in code.
I know something's going to be bullshit when people start spelling tree like the faggy way.
Okay. This isn't even the most recent version of. Okay, globally available variables. Let's look here. Ether units.
There's block, message, TX, AVI. That's it.
So special there's block, hash, block, message, TX, ABI, bytes, string. So S is not just.
Wait, that's not in here.
It's not. That's correct.
Huh?
Yes, but there is a in one of their unit tests, it's defined as get diamond storage, apparently.
What the? Yeah. Like the docs at soliditylang.org have no reference to this. What? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I
So where is that coming from?
Okay, I'm going to search for S space S semicolon. Okay. State transition facets.
ZK chain storage internal S.
No, chain facets. Sorry, I was looking at ZK chain storage. I was stupid. And I need to look at ZK chain bait. The base facet, sorry. Okay. So this variable is declared here. It's not defined.
What's slither disable next line? What's slither?
Slither is a linting tool.
Oh, great.
See, their code is linted, so it's high quality. Yeah, so
that's why people think that you need AI to code. They've just dug themselves a huge hole. That's all.
Yeah,
they're just
they write code like this, and like it's not possible for a human or even like normal automated tooling to understand something like this. There's just so much goddamn code. I'm just going to do get ls files star.sol. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do grep-v test. So I'm going to remove everything that has the word test. Just list. Okay, so these are the ones that are not tests. Okay. Oh, wait. The deploy script. Okay, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to be generous, and I'm also going to remove the scripts. Okay. Contracts. Okay. Okay, if I remove the scripts, it's a comfortable 36,000 lines of code. Dude. It's just nuts. I've always wanted a cake that will cut itself. Dude. Look at this. Let's just see how many files there are. 251 files.
Jesus Christ.
This is just the smart contracts, dude. We haven't even gotten to their fucking prover or the sequencer. All of it's written in Rust, by the way. They have their extremely efficient proof.
The cake was on point then.
They have their slow prover that requires a modest 160 gigabytes of RAM to upload, but that you can run it on AMD 64 architecture. Their fast prover that is less resource intensive. It requires RISC-V hardware to run.
Wait, you have to have a RISC computer to run it?
Correct. Yes. Here.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah. So retrieves a batch.
Wanna go sweet dude? Take a cookie,食べてる. The 140 gigs of RAM.
That's not necessarily a hard. Okay. I found okay, ZK sync overview. So
you know we're about to hit a really hard crash fairly soon when the AI bubble is so big that like ordinary amounts of memory is like hundreds of dollars in the West.
Yes.
And on top of that, everybody is slop coding, but nothing is improving. There's no major releases of life-changing software. Nothing has come out that does none of it. No one's saving money either. There are no companies that have found great savings from outsourcing to street shitters that tell ChatGPT to do stuff. None of that's happening. And
yeah, I mean, AI has not enabled any sort of
we've had plenty of time for it to like fix self-driving cars or something, and none of that's happened.
Well, self-driving cars are happening in a small way.
No. I'm saying that if the promise of AI was true, all the coding tasks necessary to accelerate that to the moon would have happened 3 years ago. Nothing.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Nothing at all.
So
we don't even have a new fucking video game that's any good.
Okay, ZK stack overview. Okay, so this is their software. Learn about the different kinds of ZK chains. Called a rollup. Represent a sophisticated layer of that's always good. Layer of blockchain architecture called a rollup cluster, consisting of parallel running chains that achieve consensus finality through a shared bridge. Oh yes, of course. Look at this. This is what they think is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a big pile of shit. I'm really glad that Cecile does not subscribe to that style of language.
It's impossible to fucking like. Oh my god. Okay. to zk. All zk. Oh yeah. So they got this. That's where this came from.
The
That's where that
10,000
came from here. Okay.
It came from the ZK Sync people?
Yes.
Well, then
apparently.
that needs to be fucking kicked in the nuts because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's another problem with this too, that like outside of HFT and shit, when you're looking at like the real economy, you know, Jack the Welder's going to buy a cheeseburger, there's not that many transactions per second just happening at all. The made up fake shit that's derivative of the other made up fake shit that's derivative of maybe a contract that's based on a derivative of something else, then eventually you get down to something that's real somewhere. But it's like 10 or 15 layers deep. That's what's creating all the transaction volume. It's all fake shit. There's no like burritos and fucking t-shirts getting moved around.
Okay. Okay. So this is like they have a bunch of different ZK Sync chains that can all talk to each other. That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so this is maybe turned on or maybe not. Yeah, so this is inherited security. How, like, they just make shit up, dude. So this is what they trained their AI on.
Mm-hmm. And it just spat out that first ADI thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So ZK stack component. So the operating system. State for ZK Sync's state transition function. Under ZK Sync's new architecture, execution is decoupled from proving. Okay. ZK Sync OS X is the operation layer. It takes block data and initial state as input and computes the new state after the application of the block. It's implemented a Rust program that will be compiled to two targets. The first one, x86, is used for running in the sequencer. The second, RISC-V, is fed as an input to the prover.
What? Okay.
What?
What? So
dude, it outputs the fucking binary of the OS in RISC-V instructions as a fucking input
to the Z to
Airbender, the entire fucking kernel, as if it's RISC-V, as an input into the prover.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. ZK is designed to support multiple VMs. Dude, imagine the amount of fucking brain power that was wasted making this shit.
Yeah.
Like, stupid people can't do things like this. This is what I was saying about how IQ doesn't like make you have better ideas. It just makes you better at doing whatever it was you were going to do anyway.
Right. It's a good example of that.
Dude.
You know.
Right.
So these are the guys that Greg is frustrated with currently because they're getting all the attention. They're sucking all the action out of the room in every crypto meeting.
Interpreters, yeah.
It's unbelievably complicated too.
Okay. Sever is a complex system. Oh yes, of course. Complex. This is great. Delivering enterprise Without enterprise, this is worse than enterprise complexity, dude. This is
Without
Yes.
delivering enterprise performance without enterprise complexity or cost, but they just said it's complex. It is. This is like, oh,
yeah. So this is almost true. Okay. What is true is that the gas cost, because it has to comply with EVM, and all the EVM transactions are priced in terms of CPU cycles,
mm-hmm.
it can reduce the gas cost considerably. However, because there's this prover cost, they advertise elsewhere you have this custom gas token thing, which is basically, okay, well, you need to pay for your prover cost, and that's basically an ERC20 token that you mint on Ethereum, and then you have it over in your layer 2, and it basically, like, people have to pay for their layer 2 transactions with your ERC20 token that you minted. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Jesus. Validates the execution of these VMs. This is so complicated, dude. Why are they doing all of this?
Because they think that you can borrow security.
I'm lost for words, dude.
Yeah. So Airbender is a RISC-V 32-bit integer emulation.
I'm still not here. So
They don't ever say quite what it is. They just say Airbender implements blah.
You reading this? Oh, you need nvidia specifically because you need CUDA.
It's very cross-platform.
And of course, all of this in the trust model assumes that we can just blindly trust NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do any weird shit with CUDA, because why would they?
Which they've already been doing, like specifically for crypto stuff. Remember, they were like, we're going to figure out how to make GPUs that can be used for gaming, but not for crypto. Do you remember that?
No. Dude. So, Jesus Christ. Okay. Basically, it takes the VM, like whatever VM you want, and then you actually take the VM and encode it into RISC-V bytecode, and then that is an input to Airbender, who then converts that into circuits essentially, and then proves.
Saっきはミルクが、俺、lights out high. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Custom base tokens. Oh,
So
and of
what's
course
ZK Sync's business model?
I don't even know, dude. You have to, when you set up your chain, you just pick the nominator and denominator. So you set the exchange rate with ETH for your gas token, and that's just what it is.
Huh? That's okay.
Okay.
That price can't float?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because it's going to float.
Oh,
reality.
okay. No. What it is that like on your I don't know if you can.
Like in terms of gas expense?
Dude, I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea what's going on here. I'm curious what it says. Okay. Transaction filtering. I'm curious about this. Learn how to filter transactions on the ZK Sync chain, including L1 to L2 and L2 transactions. Okay. Implement and deploy the transaction filterer contract, which implements the I transaction filterer. It will be called by the mailbox facet with the TX details and will return whether the transaction can be executed. Dude, who wrote this? Like, this is not even Slavic English. It has too many thes. Usually.
Well, it is a little bit awkward, isn't it? Some 17-year-old Bangladeshi kid who wasn't allowed to sleep for 3 days.
Curious what configurations. I love that they warn people who are going to be running payment networks about this.
Okay.
People who need to be told this definitely can be running blockchains, right?
Never commit your private key. Oh. Yep.
You need to tell people that.
Those are the people that should be doing it. So our associate chain setup procedure is supposed to be commit the associate chain like registration transaction on group, and then stand up your node that will pointed at group so that it starts following and can submit stuff back.
Yeah. You summarize the whole idea in about 2 sentences.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about that hard. I mean, if you want to customize it, make it all like super duper. I mean, that's the description for like a permission version.
Yeah, so this is like, oh God. The problem, it's like shoehorning it. How do I phrase this? They're trying to make layer 2s like what I wrote in here. What I wrote. This is the draft. Yeah. I did Clarence T. Soul.
Have to go back and check out the update. Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah. Have that. Here.
You got to clip in the today's outrage seems to be the video with Obama and Obama's as gorillas, but that was only part of the video.
Yeah, so here. The title of this paper is What Went Wrong with Layer 2s, and you might not have noticed, but you just read the answer. This is adapted from those DMs I sent you. We have the luxury of playing Captain Hindsight. The point where Layer 2s went wrong was with the Plasma network. We're going to pause here, zoom out, and attempt to communicate why this is the answer. ZK rollups are thought to be a solution to the scaling problem that don't carry the security flaws inherent in optimistic rollup. In some tortured sense, this is true. To see why ZK rollups only solve the scaling problem in a tortured sense, we need to zoom out and look at the entire forest and not get lost in the minutiae of trees. The Lightning Network failed because of undesirable emergent properties of its design, namely the high rate of transaction failures. Plasma was de facto the first Layer 2 network that had the idea that the Layer 2 network would be a full blockchain. The authors of the Plasma white paper are Buterin and Poon. Poon was the lead author of the Lightning Network white paper. What we can see only with the benefit of hindsight is that the hydra of complexity and unfavorable trade-offs that we see in modern Layer 2 networks are downstream of fundamental tendencies in how our universe behaves. Concretely, a $100 transaction on the Lightning Network fails roughly 25% of the time. It uses a scheme similar to TCP with a hub-and-spoke network topology. The sender has to find a sequence of intermediaries who each have the capital to front the transaction to the next hop in the sequence. It's designed so the intermediaries can't run off with the funds. Either the transaction completes in full or not at all. Yeah, we use the analogy of direct flights versus connecting flights. If a party of 50 is traveling from Naha, Japan to Hartford, Connecticut, the odds that someone's luggage gets lost is nearly 100%. If it's a party of 1, it's unlikely any luggage will get lost, even with multiple hops. The analogous outcome, theft of user funds, is totally unacceptable in a payment network. So if there were to be some loss somewhere in the chain of transactions, the transaction fails entirely. Smaller transactions are more likely to succeed. This is why all Lightning Network demos are games with micropayments, blah, blah, blah. The Lightning Network ran into a wall inherent in the emergent structure of nature. Instead of identifying this, the Ethereum community tried to design a similar system where the specific bad outcomes found in the Lightning Network were impossible. We haven't gotten to the concrete problems with ZK rollup chains yet, but the pattern is the same. ZK rollups are an attempt to design a similar system where the specific bad outcomes in Plasma are impossible. If current trend hold, ZK rollup chains will fail for exactly the concrete technical reasons we lay out below. The short version is that non-interactive ZKP schemes contain a more or less strict trade-off between proof cost and verification cost. Given that the goal is to minimize verification cost, which is activity on the layer 1, almost all the cost of operating a layer 2 is now in proof generation. Well, now in order to operate a layer 2, you need billions of dollars in capital and giant data warehouses in order to finance 24/7 proof generation. Moreover, a core premise of the ZK rollup child chain is that it obeys the rules of Ethereum. It's just like Ethereum, however, it's faster. However, Ethereum's protocol is premised around gas cost. Yeah, so this is the thing with
the token arbitrage problem.
Yeah. To mitigate censorship risks by hostile central operators, the smart contracts that govern the layer 2 include the ability for users to force the layer 2 to include a specific transaction within a given time window, or the layer 2 network self-destructs. Yeah, so they've turned that off. Um,
I love that.
yeah. So the Ethereum, right, will likely respond to the upcoming failure of ZK rollup schemes by thinking they need research into more efficient ZKP schemes, along with some even more complicated mitigation against arbitrage attacks. A fundamental system tenet of systems design is that complexity equals attack surface. The general
Yes.
shape of the historical review we laid out above is bad idea A, introduces insane sprawling complexity. Yeah, I laid all this out to you. Yeah, and we're
Hmm.
trying to understand bad idea Q. And the basic problem that generates the situation in which we now find ourselves is a failure to identify that the specific bad outcomes that occurred with Lightning, Plasma, and now ADI chain were not the core problem. They were consequences of the core problem.
Yes.
Um, Somehow the idea got planted in people's brains that Ethereum is secure not on account of decentralized consensus, but rather on account of obedience to the Ethereum protocol. No, that is an imposition. Something like that is
Hmm.
needed on account of the security needs of a decentralized payment platform. Um, yeah, I talked about associate chains. Yeah, and then I basically took my Angry Dragons problem thing
Hmm.
um, and I made it a little bit more nice. Um, but like this is what this is. Okay. We need 8 different curves that conditionally branch on whether or not some setting is set somewhere, and there's 100 different places where that could be up. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way to debug any of this shit. There's no way. There's no way to even detect bugs before they happen. They're just like, this is just
Yeah.
like,
And,
I
and
don't
and
even.
this is money. We need to try to keep it as simple as possible. It's already hard enough.
Well, and fucking Vitalik said that the other day. He's like, yeah, this shit's getting a little too complicated, and like, if we want this to last, it needs to be really simple because you can't need like math PhDs are going to have a hard time understanding this.
Yes. What you would have to kind of dedicate your I could imagine a career path where people just all they do is like they go to technical high school through graduate and all they do is kind of go through iterations of this code base and try to figure out how things work and they become like a company resident expert because we married this dumb idea. That's kind of what happened to like databases for a while
Mm-hmm.
when they got like super complicated. Um, and then we made it worse by going with like NoSQL and the whole like, and that's still an unresolved problem. Now we're into DLTs.
Dude, I just am so. It's so hard to explain the problem here, though. Like starting from zero. Like
Hmm.
you're somebody who read about zk sync, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I think this is a good idea. But like, you don't have the technical competence to like actually like go and just do WC-L on their code and go, wow, there's 36,000 lines of solidity. That's probably not a good idea. And stop there, which is
Hmm.
like, if in our core team, like if we're going to evaluate maybe using this, that's the first thing we do. And we'll go, okay, nope. And then move on. And,
Yes,
and like,
which we've done numerous times.
yes, we have. And, but like, I don't know how you're supposed to explain it's impossible to explain intuitions, and like I don't know how the hell to like articulate just how goddamn just batshit insane all of this is, and like
I
it,
I
it,
think you're
it,
doing a good job in this paper, and a related thing actually is the series that I've started on to try to build up to the cult problems, the cult dynamics
yeah.
thing that I want to write. But these are connected together. Um,
Oh yeah, I mean, this is some crazy cult of like Ethereum
yes.
cannot be wrong, and the reason that our layer 2 idea failed was that we didn't obey the layer 2 idea hard enough, and like obviously we didn't have zkps, and so that was why it didn't work.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well, so
not
you move the locus. The article of faith has shifted from being that layer twos are the solution to ZKPs are the solution more broadly.
yes,
And
yeah,
so you take the same methodology. This is what uh, Kutba did with taking his previous Leninist methodology that he'd grown up with and through uh, in the earlier 1900s, and then he wrote out, "Oh, we need to use Leninist strategy, but the ideology of communism is what's wrong. The strategy is really good, so we're going to replace. Obviously, God did not ordain communism. God did ordain Islam, so Islam needs to be. We're going to take the same cult structure and we're going to replace the article of faith from communism to Islam. And that's the foundation of the Muslim Brotherhood. That's why they have a Politburo. Like that, they mimicked everything identically, including the March to Institutions, and they have plenty of inspiration from Muhammad on that point as well. But that's why that's shaped that way. Is it's exactly the same thing. So the cult, they took exactly the same cult structure and they just replaced the article of faith from communism to Islam, which again Islam already has a template for, so it works really well. The Muslim Brotherhood's thing is a modernization of what Muhammad was already doing. He was proto-Hegelian. They've just brought it all the way forward through. They've
yeah,
just
yeah.
they've made it like modernized Leninist characteristics applied to Islam, and
It's
it's working.
communism with Islamic characteristics.
Kind of. It's communism. It's somewhere in the middle between communism and fascism because they're
Right.
following Islam to the letter, and it does have a few economic prescriptions. All of them have to serve Muhammad, though. Now, the problem that he's dead makes it a little bit difficult, but that's the problem with cults that outlive their leader.
Dude,
But anyway,
I
it's
don't.
exactly a cult formation, precisely. Which is also why they have a mandate, because this is the perfect thing that will fix everything, obviously. That's where you get this thing where people say totally outrageous shit, like we're going to put, you know, feline leukemia, a cure for cancer on the blockchain, or blockchain fixes that. Is like a joke, right? But they really believe that, and so all finance has to eventually be blockchain finance, and they're going to completely obsolete the concept of fiat or gold or whatever. Um, Food won't make sense as money because everything's going to be ZKPs. And then you ask them, well, how do you ZKP a bag of wheat? And you're like, well, you tokenize it. They'll just say some stupid shit. But they'll believe that what they're saying makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't. I just I'm so. Okay. I don't.
Every,
I don't get.
dude, everyone's hallucinating to survive. Everybody is that panicked right now. Like the degree of stress that people have that like the world's about to end, either because of Trump or because of the communists or because of Muslims or whatever. Everyone's so worried the world's about to end that they're not doing anything real on their own, which is the real reason that the world would end.
I just don't. I still am like.
There's an AI assistant button in this call. I'm going to click it.
Yeah, that just does like
It opened up a
transcriptions.
panel. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's not very interesting.
it's actually useful though. It's like the only
I can
useful
ask it a
AI
question.
I've actually encountered. Anyway, I don't even know like the way that I explained it to Greg was that like he was like, "Hey, how is this going?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, the problem is that like I'm basically given blueprints for Hogwarts, and like there's all these moving staircases, and like you're trying to figure out, can you get from point A to point B in the building? Because if you can, there's a big problem. And well, maybe if the staircase feels like it, and also if the painting hates you, then you're in a lot of trouble. And like, but maybe there's this secret compartment over here, and like, there's just no way to figure out what is actually going on at any time. It's not like a blueprint for a normal building where you can just kind of map out how everything is connected to everything. No, like everything may be turned on and may do this and may do that, and then because it's just I don't, this is not going to solve any problem, and there's no way that there aren't like really serious bugs in this, really really serious. You can't write that much code and not have really serious bugs in it, and there's no way to like suss out what they are or like fix them. Like something's just going to go wrong somewhere, and it's just going to be complete mystery. And there is no care taken in this. This is not written by people who like cared about the quality of their work. They wouldn't have done any of this if they cared.
This is like the tax code of fucking blockchain.
Yes, yeah. It's like the tax code, and like
it's the entitlement programs of blockchain. It's just stuff, endless amounts of stuff. This is Rust you're looking at now.
Yeah, because this is the way to like configure. I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at. This is the core of the server. So I think the server is like an HTTP server that sits in front of the, I don't even know, dude.
I do, I have to give Rust credit for one thing. It made me respect Go a lot more.
I mean, I just... That's, I mean,
off by tweeting
that's like saying, OnlyFans whores made me respect real whores even more.
That's a good tweet, too. OnlyFans whores.
You're going to get banned if you tweet that. It'll flag you for whatever abusive language.
On Twitter? On X?
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give it a shot in a second, though.
Dude, I don't even know. And the problem is it's so much easier. Like, if you have money, what I don't understand, if you have the capital, like, millions and millions of dollars were poured into making this. Millions of dollars. Because you had to hire hundreds of programmers to write this amount of code, right? And get it to even sort of work. If you have that sort of capital, why are you not doing what we do and going, okay, what's the actual problem here? How do I solve it? Why is it only us? Like, why has nobody else had the same idea? I don't get it. It's not complicated. What is the problem? What is the solution? The problem is not that like you don't have a complicated enough, that you don't have enough solidity. Like it's just I don't. What is this? Base token ratio persister. What the fuck is that, dude?
Oh, wait. But look, base token ratio persist layer. Base token ratio provider layer.
And an
External
external
price API layer. What the fuck?
Yeah, so just on the screen we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
I'm sorry.
16, 17,
They've got a thing
18
called
layers.
celestial wiring layer next to eigen wiring. That sounds really safe, by the way. Eigen wiring layer.
Yeah.
Both of those sound very reliable.
We have 18 layers that you need to know about just to understand 19 lines of code.
Yeah. And those layers are all themselves an architectured thing they have to go learn about.
Oh, and then
I mean, no
down.
wonder nobody checks anything.
19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, wait, no.
But did the zk sync contracts, I think, are more complicated than the Groot node code, I think.
I mean, I did a comparison. So like if I go to and I do get ls files src oh wait, no, get ls files apps. Okay. I'm just gonna check. Okay, I'm also gonna do the same thing of just removing test code. Okay, this is the node code for Groot, or for Gajumaru. This is just the Gajumaru repo, okay? Well, and this doesn't include fate, so it's a little tricky. So I don't know the correct way to count all of the code, but let's just do... Yeah, so 89,000 lines of code.
Without well, fate's in there. If that's
I don't
on
think
the apps.
fate... Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Fate's not that big, though.
It's really not. It's not a complicated system. And then, like, and we look, okay.
A big chunk of this is the interface code to run the HTTP endpoint.
Yeah, that's AE HTTP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, there's not a ton here. It's a couple thousand. There's some like AE primop. Okay, the primops. Yeah, okay, okay, that makes sense. AEU
Poseidon constants.
The Merkle trees. Okay, yeah, that can get complicated. Poseidon. I don't even. What is Poseidon?
I'm not actually sure what that is. I've never had.
Rosetta. Okay.
Oh, again, that's what I mean, though. Like the endpoint stuff is usually the heaviest.
Right.
Conductor's big. DB is big.
Okay. DB is big, but dig 1,900 lines of code. That's like, oh, okay. The state channel FSM is almost 6,000 lines of code. Okay.
That's its own project, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So like, there's a few things here, but like most of these are triple digits or even double digit. Like, it's really not that fucking complicated. And like another thing, dude, like I was looking at, the the smart contracts for Gaju Market, whatever it used to be called, Agora, and
Mhm.
like this is something we had like we had the whole core team review them. I'm pretty sure. You know, we tested them pretty extensively, did all this, and you know, I carefully analyzed it, and you know, did some stuff with, and like I found a couple of not like really serious bugs, but you know, nothing that like causes anyone to lose their funds, but you know, some state could theoretically possibly get corrupted in some weird
Yeah,
way.
you could make some
Like,
funky calls or something. Sure.
yeah, and but we all, but like I don't think it was possible for anyone to lose their funds because it always had the escape hatch built in, and like that here. I'm gonna do this off screen because this is a proprietary code.
Oh, are we recording? Oh, we are.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to watch my mouth a little more.
Yeah. Conveniently, the AI transcription transcribes everything except for naughty words, which is exactly what I need to edit out.
Oh,
So
well, that's good.
all of the information that I don't need or that I need is precisely what is excluded. But anyway. Okay. Ca- okay, so between the two contracts, it's 350 lines of Sophia. And like after a lot of auditing, I was able to find, you know, a bug that needed to be fixed in there. 350 lines. That's 36,000 lines of code.
Yeah, that's just solidity.
That's not even their like fucking deploy. That is excluding all of their deployment scripts and all of their test code.
Right.
At least half of
Now,
that, or like they
how
have at
big is the
least that
rest
much
stuff?
code. Oh God. Okay. I'm just gonna. Okay. I'm gonna grab their prover. Here, let me. Please. Okay. I'm just gonna clone all of their repos. Okay. I've got their server, the OS, and the prover. Okay. Okay. GitHub, please.
I'm being
I mean,
tempted
it's
by
better.
piles of raw fish.
Dude, it's still not finished with the clone.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's got lots of revisions. Dude, it's still cloning though. This
Yep.
thing's huge.
120 megabytes so far. It's 73% done. Okay, so let me go into.
Wow, that is quite large. They considered rebasing? Oh, well, and then how much stuff is being brought in with dependencies?
Yeah. Okay, so 2600 for their prover. That's not terrible. 2700.
What was the one that you just cloned though that was so huge? AI Foundation
That's
stack?
this. That's this one. It's the
Okay.
zkos.
ありがとう。で、醤油もかけた。
Oh
わさびは
wow. Okay.
かけてない。
I want to make sure I don't have any test code. I don't see any.
出かける。
Okay, and I'm gonna.
うん。今とっても怪しい、プログラムのソース見てる、一緒に。ん
123,000.
What?
That's for the kernel.
Dude. Just had this, like, you ever eat, like, raw shrimp?
No.
So good. Fatty tuna. Oh, so good. キュートロすごいね。Oh my god, it's delicious.
Okay.
You have the fatty part of the tuna? Like up towards the head? Fucking amazing.
44,000 lines of Rust for closer to 45,000 for their server.
Dude, wait, so we're into the hundreds of thousands together now.
Yeah, well, just zkos, which is the kernel, is 123,000. But that includes Rust implementations of EVM, WASM, and a couple others. And it can compile to RISC-V.
What? Surely nothing went wrong in there, ever.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as compiler bugs.
Nope. No. That's
especially
not
not in Rust, because Rust is safe.
Tautologically. Yet another cult formation around that one. Yeah, this is... I'm amazed that anything runs at all. I mean, you've heard me express that sentiment about messages getting across networks at all, too, but this is even crazier than that.
Dude, I feel so bad for Russian people. They're like we meet a lot of Slavs in our line of work, and they're like really, really, really competent people most of the time. They're really, really competent, and they're relegated to doing shit like this. This is like what is available to you in terms of economic opportunity if you're a Russian who has an IQ of 150.
Russia bad, okay?
It's just there's so much talent there, dude.
That's
their
how
contributors: Alexander something, Daniyar Itegulov, Vladislav Volosnikov, Vlad Borchuk.
Yes, they're very smart and talented, and also they're the dumbest people in the world, and Russians are orcs, and they're bad, categorically. Don't you forget it. We need to be at war with these people.
Let me look at their followers. It's probably their employees. No, it's a bunch of... Dude, they only have 14 followers on GitHub. This is ghetto shit. I bet you have more followers on GitHub. And I don't even think you have GitHub anymore.
I doubt it. I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You have 34.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And you have only 3 contributions in the last year, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all those repos say just redirects to GitLab.
Which is then going to have redirects to Psycho Bitch.
Yes. I'll go back and I'll point the GitHub ones at GitLab.
But I'm going to look at
Psycho Bitch.
Yeah, it's all
Artur?
Russian.
Wait. Artur Puzio.
Is that someone you know?
I think so, yeah.
He's from Poland.
I think he was working at Eternity for like a couple seconds. Igor Borodin? I know I've seen that guy's name too.
Yeah, that name looks familiar, but I can't place it.
What were you looking at? Matter Labs?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, okay, let me just find. Oh, their JavaScript SDK. I got to take a look at that. But the contributors. Yeah, mostly Slavs. Dude, how is it taking this long? GitHub, get your shit together. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
Let's just look. Okay, Argentina, Slav, bot. I don't know what that
I have
is.
no contributions in 2024.
Okay, bot or Slav. Dude, if you're, most of these Slavs are not located in Russia according to their profiles. So I guess just maybe Europeans in general. Most of them seem to be in Europe. But like, look, dude, they probably spent like at least $100,000 getting someone to design this.
Mm-hmm.
So
One of my followers' names is Cumsoft. What the fuck? That's a company name?
what the ZK Credo? I will look at that in a second. I'm curious. Dude, this is so insane. Look at this, dude. They even have the whole like Fibonacci spiral.
Very nice. That's
We use that also for
we
controlling
do.
inflation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's our inflation curve.
So they're on the same page as us.
Yeah, that's what that means. That's not quite the Fibonacci curve, is it?
Well, it branches. I don't know, dude.
Something funky. Well, my point is it's describing a square in one section. Ratio is funny. I'm gonna have to get out of here pretty soon. We gotta go.
All right. See you, man.
All right. Take care and enjoy your bizarre investigation. These articulating the complexity problem. It is the angry dragon problem. It's just how to chop that down to a concise explanation that can cut through the brain fog. It's not easy. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here.
See ya, dude.
Take care, man.
Bye.